word of the week is creation.
The definition of creation is the action or process of bringing someone into existence. It is also defined as the creation of the universe, regarded as an act of God.
We believe God created the world in 7 days. In the beginning there was nothing, and then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light, scattering the darkness, calling the dark night and the light day.
On the second day, God made the sky and separated it from the rest of the world.
On the next day, he named the land, earth, and the water which come together, which is the sea. God commanded that the earth produce lots of plants, and so it did. God made the sun and the moon to show when it was night and day. This was the fourth day.
On the fifth day, God created all of the animals and birds on the earth. This was the fifth day.
On the sixth day, God created human beings, making them like himself. God was pleased with what he had done.
God rested on the seventh day, pleased with what he had done. We believe that God created the world for us all to live in and look after.
Beatrix, what does creation mean to you?
Creation means to me when people make something, like God created the world for us.
Beatrix, how do you look after God's creation?
I look after God's creation by picking the plastic up off the floor so it doesn't pollute the earth.
What does creation mean to you?
It means how God made the world.
How do you look after God's creation?
It means by turning off lights and water when you stop using
them. What does the word creation mean to you?
So when I think about creation, I think about God creating the world. So I think about everything that God created in those 7 days. So not only the earth and the sky and the sea, but also all of us and all of the amazing things we have here. And I think about how amazing God was to have made this brilliant creation, and how we need to look after it because God made that for us.
How do you look after God's creation?
So I try my best to look after God's creation by recycling, so making sure I put paper and plastic into the recycling, by picking up litter if I see it on the floor and popping that in the bin rather than leaving it on the ground, by trying not to use single-use plastic, so you having like a reusable water bottle, so not getting a new water bottle every day, so I'm not using the plastics, turning off the lights when we're out of the room and turning off the laptops and things at the end of the day. Just little bits which really add up to help everybody look after God's creation.
What does the word creation mean to you?
The word creation means that it's been done.
How do you look after God's creation?
I look after God's creation by putting it to rain.
Creation is our word of the week because we have entered the season of creation. This runs from 1st September, which is the World Day of Prayer, the Care of Creation, until 4th October, the Feast of St. Francis of Assisi each year.
This season is dedicated to prayer and action for the protection of God's creation, our earth.
We give thanks to God for all he has made, say sorry for the damage we have caused, and commit ourselves to take action to protect our common home.
The theme for this year is listen to the voice of creation. This means we need to listen to the voice of the earth and listen to the warnings it is giving us.
This year's symbol is the burning bush.
This links to the fires that have been happening around the world, which are a sign of the devastating effect that climate change is having on our world.
The scripture this week is the story of the burning bush with Moses, Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 12.
The burning bush in this story was representing God's presence. God told Moses about all of the people that were suffering as slaves. The links to the fires today showing us of the people that will be suffering if we don't look after God's creation.
These are a lot of ways we can look after God's creations.
We can turn off lights or plugs when we are not using them.
We can turn off water when we are not using it, like when brushing our teeth.
We can walk or use public transport instead of using cars.
We can plant new trees or plants.
No matter how we do it, we should try our best and be thankful for God's creation.
To reflect on the word this week, we would like you to be creative with creation. You will need some natural materials, paper and paint. Go outside to find some natural materials like leaves, pine cones, sticks or stones. Feel the textures of the natural objects and look at their patterns. Think about how amazing nature can be and how much thought God must have had in creation. Use the natural items to paint a picture with. Look at the different shapes and patterns you can make with them. Be as creative as you can. Stick these into your RSE books and write somewhere about your favourite thing about creation is.
How does this link to our mission statement?
If we trust in God, we can help create a better tomorrow by helping our creation in any way we can today. Your mission is to look after God's creation, especially during this season of creation. Try your best to remember how amazing God's creation is.